So you talk about how some of the things that you may or may not do to the people that you criminalize on a daily basis, because I don't see it as policing, I see it as the criminalization of communities, is questionable. Questionable is not questionable for the people who get thrown up against cars on a daily basis for walking down the street. It's not questionable for people who get their houses raided for potentially being involved, potentially with gangs or whatever. You talk about how you have these relationships with community members, and you talked to them at that forum last week or something like that, like a police, what was the police accountability thing? Police advisory committee. Like, which community members were those? Are you talking to the kids at Kennedy Plaza who basically just get freaked out every time they see a cop? The kids who get criminalized on a daily basis, were those community members that you were talking about that said it was okay? Did you talk to youth? Yeah, like I said, it's not policing, it's criminalization, and it's not you personally. It's not you personally. You guys as human beings. It's the racist institution of the police that's built upon this racist state, the United States of America, built upon genocide, built upon slavery of all our ancestors, black and brown people who are here in this room. And so you guys are just a manifestation of that racism. You guys are just like an evolved slave masters. Instead of chains, there's handcuffs. Instead of whips, there's batons. Instead of plantations, there's prisons now. And that's what you guys represent. I hope you guys understand that. As much as you guys are human beings and have love and families and communities of your own, you belong to an institution that oppresses us on a daily basis. That's what this is about. This isn't about like a relationship that I have or want to have with you. This is about us fighting off these shackles and chains. That's what this is about. Yeah, I know. They talk a lot, though, so I have a lot of points. And then, you talk about how it's a quality of life for people in communities. You talk about how it's a quality of life for people in communities. Quality of life for who? Quality of life for the poor working class people who get tossed out of their Section 8 for daring to speak against you guys. Because that's when we met outside of here. When white folks were out there trying to get them to come to this forum, they were freaked out of their minds. They were like, I'm not going to a building with a bunch of cops. Those cops threw my mom out of Section 8 for saying something against them for raping a house without a warrant. Those are the people that are really, that you guys should, not that you guys should really be talking to, that the people that the community members in this room should be talking to. Why should we be having a dialogue with them? We should be having a dialogue with community members who are freaked out and trying to build relationships with them. It's not for what? Really? By force? Is a cop gonna come get me?
Look, nobody's gonna come get you, but this is a community forum for the entire community. No, I'm gonna speak out, because we're not gonna have this. If you wanna go tell all that, go down to the police station and talk to them. This is for the community. You can speak all that. It needs to be enough time for everyone to get a chance to speak. You can come back in. All right? Thank you. Next question. Let me respond, I'm sorry.
I know it really wasn't a question. I respect your point of view, I really do. When you asked who from the community was at that meeting, many of the people were sitting in the stands right now, many of them. And they talk about, and they work with us every single day, every single week, trying to make this community a better place. Is it perfect? It's not. But I can tell you so much of what we do in the Providence Police on a daily, weekly, monthly basis, trying to move it forward, mentoring young boys and girls in the community, making an impact on young men and women in the community, having a YPI, Youth Police Intervention Program, with young men who are at risk, that we're trying to improve their lives and their status in life. Is it perfect? No, and that's why we're here tonight. We're here to build on, I think, 5 areas. Communication, respect, accountability, fair in the community, and trust and transparency. We're about that. Is it perfect? We're a big agency. We deal with an extremely high volume of calls on a daily, weekly, yearly basis. And we going to get every one of those calls right? No. Are we going to get every one of those interactions right? Maybe not. But the vast majority, I think we do. I mean, hundreds of thousands of calls, interactions we respond to and interact with the community. So I think overall, we're very good, but we're here to improve. I mean, and I think we can strengthen our relationship through this communication.